Hello, welcome to the self-learning podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on chapter 2, terms, concepts and their use in sociology. And our topic is status and role. The two concepts status and role are often seen as twin concepts. A status is simply a position in society or in a group. Every society and every group has many such positions, and every individual occupies many such positions. Status thus refers to the social position with defined rights and duties assigned to these positions. To illustrate, mother occupies a status which has many norms of conduct as well as certain responsibilities and prerogatives. A role is the dynamic or the behavioral aspect of status. Status is occupied, but roles are played. We may say that a status is an institutionalized role. It is a role that has become regularized, standardized, and formalized in the society at large or in any of the specific associations of society. It must be apparent that each individual in a modern complex society such as ours occupies many different kinds of status during the course of his or her life. You as a school student may be a student to your teacher, a customer to your grocer, a passenger to the bus driver, a brother or sister to your sibling, and a patient to the doctor. Needless to say, we could keep adding to the list. The smaller and simpler the society, the fewer the kinds of status that an individual can have. In a modern society, an individual as well as we saw occupies multiple status, which is sociologically termed as status set. Individuals acquire different status at various stages of life. A son becomes a father, a grandfather, and then great grandfather, and so on. This is called a status sequence, for it refers to the status which is attained in succession or sequence at various stages of life. An ascribed status is a social position which a person occupies because of birth or assumes involuntarily. The most common bases for ascribed status are age, caste, race, and kinship. Simple and traditional societies are marked by ascribed status. An achieved status, on the other hand, refers to a social position that a person occupies voluntarily by personal ability, achievements, virtues, and choices. The most common basis for the achieved status are educational qualifications, income, and professional expertise. Modern societies are characterized by achievements. Its members are accorded prestige on the basis of their achievements. How often you would have heard the phrase, "You have to prove yourself." In traditional societies, your status was defined and ascribed at birth. However, as discussed above, even in the modern achievement-based society, ascribed status matters. Status and prestige are interconnected terms. Every status is accorded certain rights and values. Values are attached to the social position rather than to the person who occupies it, or to his or her performance, or to his or her actions. The kind of value attached to the status or to the office is called prestige. People can rank status in terms of their high or low prestige. The prestige of a doctor may be high in comparison to the shopkeeper, even if the doctor may earn less. It is important to keep in mind that the ideas of what occupation is considered prestigious varies across the societies and across periods. People perform their roles according to social expectations, that is, role taking and role playing. A child learns to behave in accordance with how her behavior will be seen and judged by others. Role conflict is the incompatibility among roles corresponding to one or more status in occurrence when contrary expectations arise from two or more roles. A common example is that of the middle class working woman who has to juggle her role as mother and wife at home and that of a professional at work. It is a commonplace assumption that men do not face role conflict. Sociology, being both an empirical and comparative discipline, suggests otherwise. Role stereotyping is a process of reinforcing some specific role for some members of the society. For example, men and women are often socialized in stereotypical roles as breadwinner and homemaker, respectively. Social roles and status are often wrongly seen as fixed and unchanging. It is felt that the individuals learn the expectations that surround social position in their particular culture and perform these roles largely as they have been defined. Through socialization, individuals internalize social roles and learn how to carry them out. This view, however, is mistaken. It suggests that the individual simply take on roles rather than creating or negotiating them. In fact, socialization is a process in which humans can exercise agency. They are not simply passive subjects waiting to be instructed or programmed. Individuals can come to understand and assume social roles through an ongoing process of social interaction. This discussion perhaps will make you reflect upon the relationship between the individual and the society, which we have studied in Chapter 1. Rules and status are not given and fixed. People make efforts to fight against the discrimination rules and status. For example, those based on caste or race or gender. At the same time, there are sections in society who oppose such changes. Likewise, individual violation of rules are often punished. Society thus functions not just with rules and status but also with social control. Now, let us wind up the session and thank you very much for engaging yourself with the Self Learning podcast.